Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast. My name is Gordon Duncan. I am here as part of the Capitalize Your Best Life Network. And here at the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast, we are here to make a better you. We now have 3 podcasts in the network. We have the Monday, This Is Gonna Hurt podcast, which is focused on personal growth. We have the Wednesday, Capitalize Your Best podcast, which is focusing on marketing and business growth. And then on Fridays, we just relaunched the You're Entitled to Your Opinion podcast. And that is a genre review and commentary podcast where we talk about your favorite movies, books, TV shows. You won't find rom-coms there, that kind of thing. So personal growth on Monday, business growth on Wednesday, and just a fun podcast on Friday. Guys, thanks for returning. I want to say thank you. Last week, I offered 3 reflections since the 5-year anniversary of the Big Leap, 5-year anniversary of when my family and I, when I retired from full-time ministry, went full-time into capitalized marketing. Thank you, everyone who listened to that and watched that. So thank you so much. I appreciate it greatly. And today, I want to focus on picking your battles, how to pick your battles. Now, an interesting topic for a personal podcast, but we've got to decide for growth, what are we going after and what we're not. If we constantly are avoiding struggle and picking our battles, we're just not going to grow. And if people are like, well, I just can't stand failure, failure is the pathway to success. It really is. I am reminded in my 29 marathons, it took me 17 before I qualified for Boston, and that was my goal from the very first marathon. I told Amy, I'm going to run a marathon and qualify for Boston. And that was 09. And then I didn't qualify until I think it was 18. It took 17 marathons to get there. Guys, if we avoid failure all of our life, we're never going to succeed. But picking your battles is not necessarily about failure. It's about what are we going to sacrifice? What are we going to learn? And ultimately, what is the goal? And so we have to learn when is a battle worth fighting and when is it not. I remember as I was growing the business here in Fredericksburg, I was part of several networking groups, just one-on-one networking groups, social groups where people can come together and do business. And I remember that I had crossed a local network leader. I thought I was being helpful, and they didn't see it that way. And they warned me about my involvement. And I took affront. I was like, "What are you talking about? This isn't like what world do you think this is?" But I remember sitting and thinking, I was like, you know what? This is not a group I'm going to get a lot of money from in terms of growing my business. It's not the wisest use of my time. This person has a little fiefdom. They have a little kingdom that they want to run. And I have every right to be here, but is this where I really want to spend my time battling this one person to be present? I have the right to be in any room I want to be in. But then I thought, you know what? It's not where I'm going to put my energy. The energy of this group is not good. The energy of this group is not pursuant and consistent with what I want to be involved with. So I didn't abandon the group, but I just spent less time there. I was like, this battle is not worth fighting. I'm not going to be able to serve others, and I'm not going to be able to gain the revenue I need. And I put my energy somewhere else, and it wound up being a good decision because from that, my business grew. And where I put my time and my money, I was able to serve others, and it led to other connections. I knew I made the right decision. But when do you fight the battle? Well, I think the first battle that we have to choose to fight is the personal battle. And I think that comes down to everything from when we wake up to what we do to how we discipline self. If you follow me on Instagram at Gordon Duncan, you'll notice that every morning I just post a photo of my coffee and what time I get up. And, sometimes I'm up and out the door, and sometimes I'm a little bit slower after that, but it just became a habit, a pattern, a discipline, right? And people will message me all the time like, oh, I'm just useless at that point in time. Well, I understand that we're not all wired to be morning people, or we can train ourselves to be morning people, but I'm going to wake up at 4:15 every single day, no matter what. And so then the question becomes, what am I going to do with my time? The battle there is do I sleep? Do I scroll on my phone? And no, I've used that time to train for marathons, to keep my mind and my body healthy. That's a battle worth fighting. When you look at it, you're like, I'm not going to win that battle every single day, but the end result there is worth it. And so there's one of our guidelines that when you're trying to figure out what battle to fight, you have to ask yourself, is the end result of fighting this battle worthwhile? Is it consistent? Does this help me get to my goal? If it's not going to get you to your goal, it's not worth a battle worth fighting. I mean, listen, I don't mind conflict. I'll mix up anytime I want, but sometimes it's just not worth it. You've got to decide, is this where I want to point my time to? And so this time, morning battles, I'm like, I'm going to fight that morning battle. I'm going to fight the urge to mindlessly scroll. I'm going to fight the urge to waste time. I'm going to get up and I'm going to work out. I've been reading through Robert Greene's works, and this is his book, War. And this is a little summary version I'm going to give away at one of my seminars very soon. And he has a chapter on this topic. It's part 3. It's defensive warfare, and it's chapter 8. And he talks about when you pick your battles, you have to look for the right economy of what you're going to willing to give up, and the economy of strength. And he has 2 quotes here. One actually is like an image, and the other is a quote. Here's this image. Allow me to read it to you. Robert Greene says this. He goes, imagine the swimmer. The water offers resistance, and you can move only so fast. Some swimmers pound at the water, trying to use force to generate speed, but they only make waves, creating resistance in their path. If you just get in the water and start pounding away, you're not going to make it anywhere. Others are too delicate, kicking lightly, and they barely move. Consummate swimmers hit the surface with perfect economy. They keep the water in front of them smooth and level. They move as fast as the water will let them and cover great distances at a steady pace. He's like, listen, if you want to swim, you can pound at the water, but you're not going to get anywhere. You can be delicate, not get anywhere, but you can move with economy with the water, and you can make great distance. It's the same thing with running. If I want to run a marathon, if I sprint from the very beginning, I'm going to run out of energy. I'm going to just not going to make it. If I just stand in place and like I'm at a stoplight or something, I'm not going to go anywhere. But if I move with economy, if I move with wisdom of my mind and my body, if I'm aware of the weather, if I'm aware of the wind, I'm actually going to be able to cover a great distance. I'm not one to typically quote Nietzsche, but Nietzsche said this: the value of a thing sometimes lies not in what one attains with it, but what one pays for it, what it costs us. Now, it's interesting. He's like, the goal is what we're going after, but it's what we gain in the process that's important. So when you are looking to fight battles, you're like, is this battle I'm going to go after, whether it be relational, whether it be personal with yourself, whether it be something for your job, whatever the case may be, you got to realize that the truest value is who you become in the process. Yes, I've run Boston. I've run 29 marathons, 3 ultras. I love that. I'm looking at my Boston medal right now, but I know what I've become in that process. I know what it's like to get up and go running in the rain when you don't want to. I know what it's like to run in single digit temperatures when you don't want to. I know what it's like to have to go out and change the way you do things because of injuries. I know what it's like to do something every single day for 16 weeks for a goal. That's made me who I am. That's what I've learned in the battle. And so now we have to look at what battles to choose. So again, the paradigm would be, does it get you to your goal? If it's not going to get you to your goal, that battle is not worth it. So you might say, oh, I've got relationships that are not worth it because it doesn't get me to my goal. And you're like, correct. But then you're like, you know what? This relationship is mutually beneficial. Even if there's conflict, what we're going through is worth it. That's when you endure in a marriage. And so you've got to ask yourself, does this get me to my goal? If it doesn't, then it's just a waste of your time. Don't pick that battle. But then become the person you want to be in the midst of that battle and that fight. Friends, so much of this is unanalyzed in our lives. We don't think about who I am and who I'm becoming and where I'm spending my time. But if we'll stop and we'll analyze who we're becoming and what we're doing, we then have a greater sense of how to choose which battle. So, friends, I hope this has been encouragement to you. I want to remind you that on Tuesday, October 21st, we have another Capitalize Your Best Life workshop. And this one's called Finding and Fighting the Victim Mentality. I can't wait to do this one. I think it has a lot of importance for us. And you can register for that at capitalizeyourbestlife.com/thrive. I'll put that in the show notes. This is in person only here in Fredericksburg, Virginia. It's on the 21st, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Out of the Box co-working space, conference center, conference room. I'd love to see you there. Guys, I hope this has been encouragement. Let me know what your thoughts are on this type of podcast. I'm enjoying it, but I want your feedback on it. And I look forward to talking to you again next week. Hey, be sure to tune in Wednesday for the Capitalize Your Best podcast. That's business and marketing growth. And on Friday, you're entitled to your opinion, which is just all fun. So friends, thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.